I just want to say that Marina Mabrey is a bum.
So Marina Mabrey has responded. The best way to respond is by just laughing about it.
I'm going to help with her skill level. It's a skill issue for her.
Jacy Sheldon and Marina Mabrey have finally broken their silence following their controversial suspensions from the June 18, 2025 game. Moment that's still sending shockwaves through the WNBA. Marina Mabrey didn't just respond, she exploded on Instagram, unleashing a fiery rant that blasted her critics as delusional and doubled down on her unapologetic attitude. Her words lit up social media, sparking a frenzy of backlash and support. Meanwhile, Jacy Sheldon's response or lack thereof was just as telling. Her unsettling silence has fans and analysts speculating, is she laying low, preparing legal action, or waiting to speak through her next game? The fallout has ignited fierce debate online and in the media, raising questions about league discipline, player accountability, and the growing culture war brewing inside the WNBA with tensions rising and emotions running hot. One thing is clear, this isn't just about a flagrant foul anymore. This is about respect, power, and the future of women's basketball.
This is what players need to realize.
June 18, 2025, a date the WNBA won't soon forget. What was supposed to be a thrilling, high-stakes showdown between the Connecticut Sun and the Indiana Fever quickly spiraled into something far more chaotic and far less about basketball. From the opening tip-off, the tension was thick, but by the time the third quarter hit, the game had completely unraveled. What fans had come to see, a battle of skill, strategy, and star power, was overtaken by raw emotion, heated clashes, and explosive moments that nobody saw coming. It was no longer about who would win the scoreboard battle, it was about who could keep their composure amid the storm. Shoves replaced screens, trash talk drowned out play calls, and before long a game of basketball transformed into a full-blown spectacle of controversy that had players, coaches, and fans reeling. This wasn't just a bad night, it was a turning point, one that would set off a chain reaction of suspensions, media firestorms, and tough questions about the state of the league.
I just want to say that Marina Mabrey is a bum, and I own her. She shoved me like that was going to change the score. Next time, try guarding me instead of throwing tantrums.
It all began with Jacy Sheldon, and her defense on Caitlin Clark didn't just cross the line, it bulldozed right through it. In a moment that sent shockwaves through the arena, Sheldon blatantly poked Clark in the eye, not a minor swipe, but a sharp, uncomfortable jab that made viewers flinch in unison. It wasn't just physical, it felt intentional, the kind of move that left fans gasping, commentators stunned, and social media immediately ablaze. But Caitlin Clark, true to form, didn't hesitate. She spun around and shoved Sheldon back hard. It wasn't just retaliation, it was a message. Her expression said it all. Asterisk, are you serious right now? Asterisk, what followed wasn't just a scuffle, it was the spark that ignited the chaos.
Is the reason why we haven't seen Caitlin at 100%. We haven't seen her as quick as we saw her last season.
And then came Marina Mabrey. If Jacy Sheldon's eye poke lit the fuse, Mabrey brought the explosion in a moment when tension should have been cooling down during a dead ball. No less, Mabrey made a decision that stunned everyone watching, stormed toward Caitlin Clark and, out of nowhere, delivered a full-body blow that sent the Fever star crashing to the hardwood. This wasn't some incidental contact. It wasn't a hard foul. It was a deliberate high-impact slam that left Clark sprawled out on the floor, clutching her side as the arena collectively held its breath. The crowd erupted, commentators were speechless, and for a moment, the game didn't just feel out of control, it felt dangerous. This wasn't basketball anymore.
Bonded to the to everything that's going on in my opinion, the best way possible.
The crowd froze stunned into silence before erupting into a wave of gasps, boos, and sheer disbelief. It wasn't just shock. It was confusion, frustration, and outrage all colliding at once. As for Caitlin Clark, she didn't need to say much. In fact, she said very little after the game, just a few measured words, but her silence spoke volumes. You could see it in her eyes, hurt, fire, and focus. Commentators were at a loss, stumbling over words as they tried to process what had just unfolded. Meanwhile, the referees scrambled to regain control, handing out technical fouls like confetti, but it was too late. The energy had shifted, the tone was set, and whatever this game was supposed to beat wasn't that anymore. It had become a battleground, and at the very center of the storm stood Caitlin Clark, targeted, tested, and now elevated to something far greater than just apple.
Probably the best way to respond. I mean that, like, the best way to respond.
June 18, 2025, a night the WNBA would never forget. What began as a high-stakes clash between the Connecticut Sun and Indiana Fever quickly descended into chaos the moment Jacy Sheldon poked Caitlin Clark in the eye. Asterisk, not a brush, but a brutal jab. Asterisk, the tone was set. Clark, never one to back down, shoved back immediately, and just like that, the floodgates opened. Enter Marina Mabrey. If Sheldon's poke lit the fire, Mabrey ignited the explosion. During a dead ball when cooler heads were supposed to prevail, she charged Clark and body slammed her to the hardwood. Not a bump, not a bucked out, a full force hit that had the arena gasping in disbelief. The crowd froze, then erupted. Clark said almost nothing after the game. Just a few cold, calculated words, but the message was clear. She'd been targeted and she knew it. Technical fouls rained like confetti, one for Clark, one for Mabrey, and somehow even one for Tina Charles, who was just caught in the crossfire. Sheldon got a flagrant one for the eye pokey bud. Despite the ferocity of her hit, she only got a technical. A decision so baffling it sparked outrage across the basketball world. Was the league watching the same game as everyone else? Then came the fallout, and the post-game firestorm was led by none other than Marina Mabrey herself. While most players might have laid low, Mabrey went live on Instagram with teammate Sonia Rivers, unleashing a verbal assault just as forceful as her in Game 1. Damned if I do, damned if I don't, she began, and it only got bolder from there. Mabrey lashed out at critics, calling them delusional, even suggesting some of them should check into a psychiatric ward. Harsh, absolutely. But Mabrey wasn't in the mood to play nice. She made it crystal clear. She was defending her teammate Jacy Sheldon, and she had no intention of apologizing for it. It was raw, it was real, and it split the fanbase wide open. Some praised her authenticity and loyalty. Others said she crossed the line, but no matter where you stood, one thing was undeniable. Marina Mabrey was not backing down. In contrast, Jacy Sheldon chose silence. No post, no comment, nothing. As the internet exploded with accusations of dirty play, Sheldon disappeared from the conversation entirely. Was it a calculated move, a sign of guilt, or just letting the storm pass? Her silence became its own statement, and fans were left guessing. Meanwhile, social media turned into a war zone. Hashtag ban Mabrey, hashtag justice for Clark, protect Caitlin, all trending within hours. The WNBA's No Space for Hate campaign suddenly felt like a cruel joke. Critics blasted the league for preaching respect while allowing violence to go virtually unchecked. At first, the league's response felt laughably inadequate. Mabrey was fined $400 and upgraded to a flagrant 2. Sheldon's flagrant remained unchanged. No suspensions, no accountability, business as usual. But the backlash only grew louder. Under mounting public pressure, the WNBA was forced to act. Reports confirmed that both Sheldon and Mabrey would face suspensions, after all a rare display of decisive action from a league often criticized for its inconsistency. But by then, the damage was done. This wasn't just about one game. It was about what it means to be a star in a league still struggling with how to protect its talent. Caitlin Clark isn't just a player, she's the face of women's basketball. She fills arenas, she breaks records, but for 2 weeks she was sidelined, nursing injuries while the league scrambled to clean up the mess. And in the middle of it all was Sophie Cunningham. While the headlines focused on Mabrey and Sheldon, Cunningham stepped up as Clarkson, her inner Draymond Green, making it clear she wasn't going to let her teammate take cheap shots without consequences. She played the role of protector, not with flash, but with fire. The WNBA, now under a microscope, faced serious questions. Were they protecting players or just their image? Was No Space for Hate just branding or a real standard? Fans weren't buying the spin. Media didn't let it go, and the hashtags kept trending. The league hoped the storm would pass, but make no mistake, this is far from over.